Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and jump into this. I think I'm all set up, and I'm already starting late, so hello, everybody. Okay, so we're sitting here in Unity. We've got a door. I earlier today in Blender modeled up a door, put the center point in the proper location for said door, so that when we rotate around the Z-axis, it rotates like that, and then created a handle that has its center point set so that when we rotate along the X-axis, the handle looks like it's gonna move. Then I went into Blender here, or Unity here, and set it up so that it has animations on it, right? So when we do a door open, it turns down the handle. You can see the handle went down there. And then it will open the door, release the handle back up, and continue to open the door all the way. So that's where we are right now. What these vertical lines are about, I am not sure. That is new to me. Whoa. Maybe it's just our selected area? I don't know. Yeah, it's the selected area. Okay, so door open, check, right? We'll need to have a door closed as well. So let's create a new clip. And door closed. We will try to do something here, which is get the door open state copied and pasted into door close as its starting point. Haha, it works. Awesome. So I'm going to move these back over here. Our door is now open, and we want to make it close along this path, right? So in order to do that, we need to reverse the rotation of the door, which is here, back to 0. And let's set a add key. There we go. So if we can rotate between them, nice. And we need to, somewhere between there, I think like right there, we're going to add a little bit of a flourish to this, if you will. We're going to, let's go there. Right there, we're going to start our rotation around which axis? Looks like the X-axis. So add a keyframe there. And we'll add another keyframe here. And okay, so we need a little more space in there, I guess. Like that. Go to that center one. And we're just gonna bump it up a tad, right? We'll add a keyframe there. So what that'll do for us is it'll make it look like it jostles as it shuts. Okay, and that'll be our closed animation. So just display this. Nice. That flourish it did might be so small you can't tell. I don't know. Oh, so we have already set up an idle, an open door, and a close now. So if I go to my animator, we want the entry point to be, what in the world? There we go. Door idle. And then from there, we want to make transitions from any state into both of these. And we're going to say, have a bool, I guess, that will be is open. And on is open, set to false, we will be closed. And is open, set to true, will be open. Let's get rid of this and this. Go into this and tell it not to loop. Same for this. There we go. That should handle the door's animations. Now we need to set this door up as an interactable. But we don't have the proper interactable, do we? We don't have a door interactable. So if we look at our scripts, we've got interactable here. We've got a chest open, a chest. Let's create a door. C# door. We will go into the door class as soon as it finishes creating the thing. There it is. We will make it do extend interactable. Delete that. Delete that, sorry. We're gonna need a start method, aren't we? Come on. Show potential fixes, abstract implements. And we're going to say open. We're gonna keep a state, I guess, right? So private bool is open. And we will set it to false by default. And we will make it serializable so we can set it in the inspector as needed. And on the interact, we're just going to toggle the state. So we're going to say is open equals not is open. So if it's open, it becomes not open. If it's not open, it becomes open. Then I guess we will need to update then. Void update. We're going to say private bool prior state equals false. We're going to compare prior state. If prior state equals is open, we'll say not is open, so that's changed, right? And at the bottom of this, we'll say prior state prior state equals is open. Oh, we save it from the last time. And we're gonna say what? So we know we need to change something. We just need to change the animator. That's literally it. So we need the reference to the animator. Private bool, not bool, animator. Animator. Anim. A-N-I-M. We will keep that one as private and not serializable. Then in start, we will say anim equals get component animator. We will add required component to this, so it forces the animator component to be on this type. Required component, type of animator. And one of those. There we go. And down here we say, right, syntax on there. Anim dot set bool. The bool is open. Let's make sure we get the right spelling of that with a capital I. And we will say is open. And that is all there is to it. Okay, now on our door itself, come on, compile. We are already set up as an interaction enabled layer. We need to add the door component though. But we don't want to do it at that point. We want to do it down here, because this has the mesh collider on it. We will fix this. So what we'll do is door, and in door we will say, instead of get component of the current, we will go to the parent. So transform dot parent dot get component. Right, so this is going to receive the message as the interactable with the collider, but it's going to pass the message on to this animator to do its animation. Okay, let's delete this prefab. Wait, let's apply the overrides first. Yeah, we want to apply both of those. Let's delete this prefab from the scene. Let's get the other prefab that we're going to place this in, which will be in our chunks down here. Let's do it in the connector again. We would do it on this level up here, and we will drag in the door. Whoop. Focus on it. It's up in the air, it looks like. Let's get it over in the light so we can see it. It's not up in the air. We're good. So the door itself is not going to know if it's open. It's going to be its child that knows it's open. A little bit annoying, but unless I move the collider to this layer, this is how it's going to have to work. So the other day somebody was asking what's the benefit of creating things in Blender over in Unity. Obviously this isn't just squares, but I could have done a simpler door with squares. But one of the benefits is setting the rotation point, right? So the mesh center point is over here versus the mesh itself is over here. Said differently, the object origin for this door is right there, right? So I can rotate around the edge of the door instead of the center point of the door, which should be how the default Unity cube is. Let's create a default Unity cube like this. I don't think there's any ability to move its center point. You can scale, but you can't offset the center point of the mesh. So that's one benefit. Okay, so we've got this here. We did not add this as a prefab to the prefab, which we need to do. So let's put this down here. And overrides, apply this one. So that door becomes part of the prefab. Okay, let's delete the whole prefab itself. Hit play. Check. Yeah, we're good. Let's also go full screen here. There is our door. It opens and closes. That is some fast animation. That's like an instant animation almost. Okay, so let's do this. Control-Shift-P. No more maximize. Let's select our player in the scene. Okay, this is the object. Let's find that over here. Let's get our animators shown. And I'm gonna drag this off to, not that one. What am I doing? We can just do it from here. Control-Shift-P to go out of pause. And let's show. It's instantly going between them. Is that because of how I set up the transition? It shouldn't be. Like the door closed animation itself is this long. Let's grab the door again. Door closed and hit play on it. Yeah, it swings, it doesn't snap. But yet if I go Control-Shift-P and just, oops, hit E. Can't hit E on it. Why? The animator's not active anymore. Must have accidentally clicked it. I'm gonna do this, but I don't think that's it. Okay. Apparently I was wrong. But we just did this with the other ones, like this, right? This opens up. Also, why is it looping now? No loop. Oh, because it's constantly going back to... Oh. Okay, let's set them up with triggers. Never mind. Forget it all. And that explains it then. So it was constantly restarting itself every frame. So let's delete this. Let's create a trigger that's called open. Create a separate trigger called closed. And we will set those accordingly. Okay, now in our code, instead of saying this, we will say if is open. Then we will go anim dot set trigger open, else anim dot set trigger closed. And let's rerun. There we go. I like how the door handle moves. Okay, now I modeled this door not taking into consideration the player's actual height. And it looks like I should have. So let's get this into full screen here. So we can see. He's a little short for the door, to look through the door. So let's try moving that down. I'm not sure how much. A bit, right? We'll call it a bit. Let's go into side view like this. And we're in see-through mode. So if I do a box select like this, we get all those. Box select those as well. And if I move down, let's try something like that, I guess. Save. It should update in Unity. Unity should then move. There we go. Oops. Whoa. Oh. How we... Okay, I know what's up. The collider got all screwed up. Let's try again. Yeah, that's better. We can see what's in the room a bit. I might move it down just a hair more, actually. Can't walk through the door. Can clip my edge of my camera through it, though. We'll need to adjust that. Move the camera back a hair. It's probably because I took the size of the standard capsule collider that's around the player and shrunk it down ever so slightly so it fit through the hole of the ladder. So you can get slightly closer than what you should. Probably. Yeah, I think a hair more. Let's say there. The door's starting to look a little funny. That's probably a good height right there. You can see what's going on inside the room now. Okay, so I think that takes the door off of the Trello list. We've got a door. Wait, I take it back. We need to modify this a little bit, right? Hey, Blowstone. How's it going, man? Well, we need to modify this because this needs to call a different method altogether. We want to have methods that specifically go to open and close states. So public, void, open. We'll just add new ones to it. That's all we'll do. And public, void, close. Because we want these to be callable by the buttons, for example. So is open equals true and false. There. So that gave us some more flexibility then. So if I come in here, go to our particular area we're working with, which is this one. Focus on that, go to the button. So we've got our on button doing the chest. Let's remove that. We're gonna drag the, oh, we need to add 2 new ones. We're gonna add the door to both of them. Oops, if I can drag in the right spot. We'll say nah, really? We gotta do that door. Because that's the one that's got the door script. So if it's on, we'll open it. If it's off, we will close it. And we're gonna have an extra prefab there. Derp. That's what happens when there's an extra prefab there. There's nowhere to fall into. Okay, door is closed. We push the button. Come on, push. Oh. It's not doing a thing. But why? Button off. Okay. Oh, it didn't update the prefab. There we go. We were working on an instance of the prefab instead of the prefab editor before. Okay, so if we hit the close button, it opens the button that does that. Now, I thought for sure that we had these popped out in their default state. Like this would be where it's off because that one's pushed in. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Because it seems to be the opposite state is what's happening actually. So let's look at the toggle buttons code real quick. And it's checking is on, which is toggle state. And it's just getting that from the button that's pushed. And setting is on accordingly. So if is on is false, we'll go to off. Which off is which state? The red one's depressed, which is what I expected. On is green is depressed. I'm also seeing this has the same bug that our door had, which is these were constantly repeating. So we need to get rid of this altogether. Set up a trigger instead. Call on, and a second trigger for off. If it is on, make transition off. Get rid of this and this, and that should take care of that stuff. On and off though, we need to call. So, anim dot set trigger on off. Now the buttons, instead of snapping between the different states, will slowly animate. At least that's the idea. Once it runs. Okay, so the on button is out, denoting that it is off currently. There we go. That's better. It needs sound effects though, right? And then we can still do this. Still open the chest. Yeah, cool. Probably should make it so we can close the chest too. Yeah. Let's add that. So the chest prefab animations open. We need a chest close clip. Chest closed. Does this work with multiple versions of MC or just 1.7.10? Oh, so the original is 1.7.10 only. What I'm building is completely in Unity though. So we're going to change the rotation of the chest lid. Rotation plus. And we're going to go to open first. We're going to select the end state of this. We're going to grab those points. We're going to copy that. And go to close. And the first point here, we're going to paste in those values, which is open. And it's going to automatically close for us. So now we've got to close. If I go to the animator, got this one, which this is a trigger. Perfect. We're going to modify this though. We're going to create a new transition into here that's this trigger. Get rid of this one. This should still be not looping. We don't want that transition duration. And there's that piece. We're going to do another one here. Make transition down to there. We're going to get rid of the transition time. We're going to say close for the trigger. And set the close on the transition itself. Close. There we go. On the chest, we've got our script for the chest. And on open, we're doing this. So we need another one that says close, right? Public. Ooh. Public void close. And we'll do all this. Close. We're going to change this open action to be another one. So we can have an event trigger when we close it as well. Maybe we'll have a chest somewhere that someone can get it loot out of, and then when it closes, it spawns the bad guy. Okay, and we're calling open and interact. So we probably need to have a state set somewhere so we know which interact we're doing, if we're doing the open action or the close action. So let's create a private bool is open. We'll set is open to false in this case. We will toggle is open in interact. So right there, we're gonna say is open equals not is open. And then we'll do a check to say if is open, we will open, else we will close. Ta-da. So this lets us do it through interact, meaning that we can hit the E button on it, or we can call it from another event. We can use that button to close the chest, for example. Let's go back here. Come on, get all the way out. All the way out. Save. Run. So, Below the Stone, how's the game coming? You guys haven't streamed forever, so I have no clue. So if I made a Minecraft map in the most recent 1.13.2, it wouldn't really work. I think I can see what you're saying now. So before I was working on creating a mod for Minecraft that would take the blocks and make them into Blender files. I do have that. Keep things a bit secret for right now. Oh, of course you are. That mod was in 1.12 version of Minecraft because 1.13 is still just coming out with Forge now for making mods. Okay, so the chest is working, but the animation is set to loop. So if I double click this, yeah, it's set to loop time. There we go. Open, close. Working nice. So what I did for this particular world that I've got generating right now in this game, it is from the 1.7.10 version. This is one of the modules from the 1.7.10 version. I opened up the world 1.7.10 world in 1.12 and then just scanned it. So I downloaded it from my server basically. So if I go all the way to the bottom down here, there is a door somewhere. There it is. It goes off to the other module. So I've got one unique and one connector set up right now. And it's really more for me setting up the other game mechanics beyond the world's modules, like shooting arrows, right? Placing torches, which are what those things that are floating are. Yes, they will change a lot. They're not going to float. They're not going to be right there. The doors, the buttons, the ladders, all that kind of stuff. In fact, ladders is probably something we should work on. Yes, there will be my own enemies. Where's my trailer at? I don't have it open. Trello. So here's all the different shapes I was trying to set up in Minecraft, right? So we could scan them. I've got all of the bars and end rods. Iron bars I'm not sure I'm going to use, so I don't care. Same with end rods. Models I needed for various different things, right? Mobs. I was thinking zombies and skeletons because that's pretty much every game. Then I've got a Jordan, which was in the Demon Depths on 1.7.10. That's the, I don't know if you ever got that far into Demon Depths, but there are boss mobs in it. Jordan had he's a zombie, I believe it was, with a crafting table on his head, and he drops crafting tables from the sky that explode on impact. I don't know if I'm going to do it all like that, but we'll have some Jordan type boss. There'll be a fiery boss, so Fiery is one of my friends from my other Discord server. All these guys are. So he's probably going to be a flaming boss, right? Treyer's probably going to be this really pale thing. CZ's going to be a dwarf. And Aragorn, probably something from Lord of the Rings. I don't know. Maybe Aragorn. I'm not sure what to make him. What special to make him. But just having fun with it, right, at this point. Maybe I could add a Philfish with a flaming purple hand. I think that's one of the coolest things for this project of yours, because MC, everything is sort of splintered out from things from MC, but now you can start making your own enemies and stuff. Exactly. I mean, we tried to do it in the Minecraft version of it, but it's still just a zombie with a crafting table on his head. Yeah, the crafting table thing spawning around him was kind of cool, but he's still a zombie. He doesn't have different AI attack patterns, right? Or anything unique about him. What else? Oh, the list. Oop. Interactable objects. So we've got doors, we've got buttons, we've got none of these other things. Yeah, MC in Demon Depths it has to be a zombie. In yours, it can be something completely new. Yeah, exactly. At least that version of Minecraft, it had to be that, right? I could have wrote a Forge mods for all of this and just done it completely in Minecraft and then added my own mobs that way, but nah, you're still limited. Pressure plate ladder. Let's try ladders, I guess. We've already got a model for a ladder, now to make it a little easier. It is not in here at all. Okay. Let's get it in its own thing then. Let's do a new... new. Sure. We're going to delete that. We're going to delete you. We're going to delete you. And go to append. From my D drive, all... code, Unity, Demon Depths 3D, assets, Blender. I'm not sure it's in here. Oh no, where did I put it? Let's try this. Recents. Blocks. There we go. Derp. Okay, it's under Blender M3. Okay, that's where it is. So new. Append. All code. Unity. Demon Depths 3D. Assets. TS. Blender. MC to Blender. Blocks. And we want the object called ladder. Get rid of the cube. And ladder is way up in the sky. Dot. So let's grab it down to a normal height. And that's probably good like that. I am going to go to edit mode and grab all of it. And that's probably good like this. So I'm trying to think through. This will be for free form, free place ladders. We won't be able to place ladders in Minecraft, I don't think, to get this to work. Ladder. Let's go up. Up. Blender. Objects. Ladder. Save. Do we have the material on this? I don't think we do. Let's add the first material slot. Give it a nice brownish color. Sure. That'll do. Save. So in Unity, now under Objects, get the ladder. Tell it to not bring in a rig, not bring in animations. Materials we don't care about. We want to generate colliders. Just can't walk through the ladder. Okay. That feels really big for some reason. Could just be our scale that we're zoomed in at. So let's delete this. This is going to be a challenge. We need to get our chunk open in its prefab form. And I want to put the ladder somewhere that we can try and test it out, right? So we can try and climb up it as I code this. There's no real smooth spot anywhere for this thing to exist. Guess we'll just do it on this water thing that's actual full blocks. Prefab objects. Oh, we didn't create it. Derp de derp. The U. Objects, ladder. Objects. Bring it back down here. There we go. It's created as an empty of another layer. Ladder. Boop. Reset. Ladder down to there. Delete it. Go back to the chunk. Open it in the prefab. Okay. Let's put it against this water. Objects. Okay, that's a thing. Rotation on it is going to be a pain. Okay, so 28 by 8 and negative 6.5. I should put it in a block space. -0.5. There we go. Okay, that's too far, but we're on the right track. 4, 3, 5, 4, 5. That seems right. Okay, so let's apply that to that particular prefab. This ladder controller is going to be a pain. We want to have a trigger collider. We'll call it a box collider, not 2D, box collider. There we go. Need to change its center point. Oh, 6.5 is right. $7.5. So it'll be negative 0.95. There we go. So now when I place this, I can place it in the center of that block space. The half positions on both axes. And that centers up our collider. We're going to make this a trigger collider. And 0.5. And 0.25. Negative. So if you're in that half of the block, you're going to try and... I'm setting this collider up so that it's recognizing that the player's in there. And if the player tries to move forward while in one of these colliders, he's going to move up. If he tries to move back while he's in one of these colliders, he's going to move down. Or stop moving up. I'm not sure. Maybe you'll go down if you stop moving up. Makes sense. I'm not sure how to do it yet. We'll be able to detect when you're in this type of trigger. Let's tag this whole object as a ladder. Let's go back out. Like, this ladder might be the hardest thing I have to code for a while. Also the hardest thing I've coded in a while. It's going to depend on the Unity's default prefab thing for now, for the player. I don't think they have anything for ladders in here, do they? I didn't think so. What's the jump about? If the button is down and jump is not already set, then we're going to jump. If jumping is true, if jump is true, then jumping is true. If previously grounded and not jumping, stick to ground hover. There's just a lot of overly complicated code in these Unity things that I'm sure they have good reasons because they're trying to make it as versatile as possible so people can use it in their games, but they end up sucking in the end. Let's do it the other way around then. Let's tag our player as a player. I'm just going to take the easy shortcut out now for now because I know I'm going to replace that code. Not player. I know I'm going to replace that thing later on. Yep, no worries. Layer. Save. The remove tags. They will be removed from this list the next time the project is loaded. Seriously? That's dumb Unity. Gotta remove the whole freaking thing for real. Restart everything. Okay, can I choose player now? Player. Oh, that's why it wasn't letting me add it. It was already a thing. Okay, so tag player. Then in our ladder again, chunks. This one, open. I guess the player. This works. Okay, so we've got that. Oh, it's not part of the prefab. Part of this prefab. And then this one's got it, so we will apply the overrides here to the box. Yep, all that. Boom. Now we can go back to the other prefab. And add a ladder controller. Script, whatever. Ooh. That's an option. You could use an interact. So most games have crappy ladders. Like, it's hard to get on and off the ladder, right? And I might have been trying to set it up so that it's a crappy ladder. Unintentionally. But if I use my interact system so that you have to hit E on the ladder to engage being on the ladder, that might correct for it. That's an interesting concept. It's not what I'm going to do right now, but we'll get there. So what we need to do, what do we need to do? We need to check we need a reference to the player, right? So we're going to need private game object player. And it's going to be set to null by default because we don't have a player for this ladder. This game object will be set on trigger enter. On trigger enter. We did set that up as a trigger, right? We did. The other, so if other dot tag equals not dot equals player, then we know we've got the player, and we can say other dot game object player equals other dot game object. I need to fix my case in the word player up there. There we go. And then in here, we will also set another variable. We'll say private bool is player on me. On me. False. We will set that to true down here. And then on trigger exit, so we walked out of it, we've gone over it, whatever. We will set is player on me to false. And in here we will say if player is player in me, on me, whatever. Then input dot get access vertical. Vector 2's input get input. We'll do it that way. It's another crazy way they do it in Unity. Why do we care about that? Like a vector 2. Aw, get input's not a thing. Is it its own? Okay, that's what I was looking for anyway. You know, input. I'm not going to end up using the cross-platform crap. Float. There. So. Kids are making a bunch of noise. If x is greater than 0, then we're going to do what? We're going to add a velocity to our rigid body. So the player's game object dot get component rigid body RIGI. There we go. We'll say rigid body RB equals that. We're doing this in an update, so it's probably bad, so we'll want to set that somewhere. We'll set it here. I'll fix it in a second. So RB dot add force. The force is going to be a new vector 3 0 x 0, and that's going to be times ladder force. And ladder force is going to be up here, private Aerializable field. Float. Ladder force. And then we're gonna set it to like 10. Okay, and ladder force is gonna do that. And we're saying this here, so we're gonna define rigid body as a private so we can cache it. And RB is gonna do that, but only if RB is not equal to null. So we don't set this on every frame, we only do the get component, which can be expensive. Once. Let's try it. It might be backwards. We might need to do negatives for the X or whatever, but we'll do it. We'll try it. We'll figure it out. We also might need to take into consideration rotation for the ladder itself. Right, so if it's on the other side, it might be a negative X instead of positive X or whatever. Get up there. Okay, so forward, not a backwards, not a. Cool. I don't think it's doing anything. Okay, we're getting some errors in the console actually. Not set to a reference of an object, really. Oh. That'd be why. I had it backwards. We're saying if it was not null. Why are we getting like 5 FPS now? Okay, this needs restarted. If it equals null, we would do this. Yeah. Exit collider, the game object. Yeah, this should do it. Still getting errors. Line 19. Why is it not set to a reference of an object? Player's not set to a reference of an object. So if do and player is not equal null. So we've got a player, but we don't have a rigid body. Get the rigid body. Once the script gets an error, it gets all screwed up in Unity, it seems. So you can't really rely on it being correct from then on. Okay, are we working? We might actually be working, but our velocity might be too low potentially. So let's come out to that specific ladder. And click the ladder. Get this and bump it up to 1,000. Huh. I believe it's my sidestep. Hey, Deldrick. How's it going, man? Oh, no. It's weird how it's doing this. So there's my forward motion, right? Nothing. If I do back, nothing. If I jump, nothing. Left. If I go to the right, if I side strafe to the right. I'm working on the ladder right now. Trying to figure out how to work this mechanic. Oh, I said horizontal, not vertical. That would be why. It'd also help if I could spell. Yeah, well, I made it super powerful, so it's obvious if it's working or not. I think that's pretty obvious. That's better. Let's change its force, though. Obviously, it doesn't need to be rocket-powered. Objects, ladder, open. So it was at 1,000 for that scene. That's why it was throwing us so high. Let's leave it at 10, see what it does. Be 100 times less. I mean, my jump is that high. It doesn't need to be extreme because we can add this force every frame. It does need to be more than that, though. Okay, so let's figure out our player's position. Oh, he's right there. Cool. So we can grab that ladder, grab that specific one, bump it up to 100. That's a pretty decent force. Right? So let's get rid of that. Let's now duplicate this object and grab it up vertically like that. Duplicate it up vertically like that. It did feel pretty good. Let's play like that. Cool. Getting up these 1 blocks is like ridiculously hard with this capsule glider. There we go. Whoa! The more there are, the faster we go. So we need to cap off the velocity somehow. So rb.velocity equals rb.velocity. Can we do that? Can we set it? It's not complaining. And so can we clamp? Let's do this. So new vector. I'm assuming it's a vector 3, is it? Dot velocity. You are a vector 3. Yes. So equals new vector 3 and rb.velocity.x rb.velocity.y and rb.velocity.z. But on this one, we will limit it. So we'll say math, is it? Math? Clamp. There we go. Clamp that value between negative 100 and positive 100. That's probably extreme. So we will set that up as a float again. Private float max velocity, max vert velocity equals 100. Serializable field. Set it up like this. Run the game. Wait, let's do this. Before we run it, let's go to our chunk. In this ladder, let's duplicate this thing a few times so I don't have to set it up every time inside the game. Oh, come on. Duplicate. There we go. Okay, that should be enough of the ladder to test with. Let's play now. Uh-oh. I broke it. How did I break it? I mean, we're not changing the X and the Z velocity, so the only one it's clamping is the Y velocity. And we're just saying it's limited between negative 100 and positive 100. I wouldn't think that it'd be more than that. Maybe it is. Debug. Log. RB velocity. Cool. Our velocity is getting set to 0. No worry, man. Oh, the velocities. Okay. Let's try this. The velocity, adding force probably doesn't directly manipulate the velocity on that frame. Because it's showing as 0, so I can see down in the corner of my screen there. You do this. Game. Get rid of that. And go to console. You can see that the numbers are right here, right? So if I Control-Shift-P to get back into play mode, only the last number's changing because I'm wiggling back and forth left and right. Vertical velocity doesn't change unless I jump. Even then it doesn't change. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, wait, it's not changing because we're not on a ladder. So this shouldn't have any impact on anything. Let's comment it out. See if I go rocketing up the thing. Gotta get back in it, probably. Whoa. That was kind of cool. Did I have ladder force at 100, guys? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Scene. That's the bottom one. Ladder force 100. We're looking at the vertical axis, which should be W and S. If it's greater than 0, we know we're getting to this piece of code, which means we're multiplying by ladder force, which is 100 in this case. I mean, technically the player is colliding with both of these, so both of these ladders should be trying to rocket his butt up. What did I change that made it break? It's not because we have another collider above us, because we can jump here. Also, those are trigger colliders, not regular colliders. Well, forget it. Let's do this. Max power. Nothing. I didn't make a commit to my code anywhere else, so I can't go back to an old version of it because we were still developing the thing. Only thing I can think of is go back and rewatch the VOD. See if I can pick up what I had different. Okay, now we're going up. It wouldn't be the debug line, would it? Couldn't be. It's working now, though. Push Shift P. Let's make it to 100 again. Cool. Ten. Okay, let's set our max vertical velocity something lower. Let's try 10 there as well. Tell 1. Okay, let's set the ladder force to 1. Yeah, that's the idea. I want to be able to place them. Place them, pick them up, move them around. Okay, are we getting all of these when I'm setting them like this? I am. Huh. Oh, it's not in the scene! Yeah, real funny, man. That explains it, though. I was changing it in the prefab, which probably wasn't having any impact on the actual scene itself. Yeah. Okay, now it's broken again. Control Shift P. Let's take a look at that ladder in the actual scene this time. And go over here to this one, and it is this ladder. It's set to ladder force 1, max velocity 1. So let's bring the ladder force up to 10 on all of these and run. No lifting. Okay, so Control Shift P. Max force 10. Still nothing.
Power 100.
Wait. That is it. That's the character right there. Right? Yeah, it's the character right there. I was making sure I got the right ladders because there's all of these are all the same objects throughout the world. So there's going to be another set of ladders in this one, for example. Man, it's like I can freaking fly with those. Okay. I'm at a very high level of frustration with this right at the moment. So I am going to actually stop here for tonight. Need to get the kids to bed and the wife wasn't feeling good. So there's extra stuff for me to do tonight. So I'm going to leave you guys right here. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Assuming I can actually stream tomorrow, I will stream much longer. So bye.